First of all, I'm back with another episode. I'd like to thank y'all for, checking out my channel. I'm currently in the beautiful land of Phuket, and I'm here with my boy, Storm Leroy. We're going to, talk a little bit about, his whole journey now, getting a condo out here. So we're gonna get into it, man. So first of all, man, it's good to see you, my brother, man.
Roger.
You made it out here, man, and
Yes.
and this is the thing that I want to talk to you about, because people like such as ourselves, being American, and just that fear of what it's like to coming all the way out to Thailand and kind of experiencing it. So I'm just curious, what made you decide to come out here, my brother?
What made me come out here was speaking to you. Like, for those who don't know, we have a backstory, of course. We worked together, and then I noticed on Instagram or something he was talking about, like, he was in Thailand and all this. I said, oh shit, let me give him a holler.
Yeah.
So I gave you a holler, and you started talking to me about Thailand and what's going on. I was like, yo, that's dope, man. A young guy like yourself. Then I was in the process of looking where I wanted to go, and I know me standing in the States wasn't it. I wanted to be out.
That's it.
So after the conversation, I said, yo, I'm gonna come out there and check you. He's like, I bet anytime come out here. I said, I bet I hit you like next week. He's like, I bet. I'm quite sure you didn't think I'd be moving that fast. I was like, yo, I got my ticket, yo, I'll be out there in a minute. He was like, damn, word? I was like, yeah, I'll be out there. So once I came out here, connected with you, you connect me with, Alex, good dude who's worked with you, getting you a lot of places out here. And for me, it answered a lot of questions that I already had with myself. I knew I wanted to do more and go somewhere, but this was like the launching pad to help ignite that I didn't want to be where I was at, which a lot of us have a problem with, acknowledging you didn't want to be somewhere.
Right. So, Storm, like, I just wanted to, before we dive a little deeper, right, because I need to give you the proper introduction of, because I look at you as like a real estate guru, bro. Like, what you have done, for yourself is phenomenal. And I just want to let you know, I give you your flowers, man. I admire, what you've been doing.
No.
And it, for what you do, it wasn't like a second guess for me to kind of, get locked in, with you, man. So I just want to talk about, obviously, and we're going to get into the whole condo stuff that you bought here and potentially get the next one. So where are the current places now that you're looking at to, continuing to expand in your portfolio and your real estate?
Well, in actuality, I've been selling my entire real estate in New York. I have 43 properties that I don't have with partners. So I sold 40. I'm down to my last 3 properties. So to make those which is the lions right outside my spot over here.
Wow.
That's powerful, bro. So it's an amusement park here, which is why I bought it, because I'm going to keep it rented. The families are going to rent this out. You only walk right out your door, go right to the amusement park.
Right.
That's dope. That's powerful.
It's crazy, man. This is wild, man.
So, what it was for me, I took one of my first other trips. I went over to like London, and I've always been a traveler.
Right.
But I knew I wanted to do more. And then when I came over here, I went from here, I went to the Philippines, I went to South Korea, I went to Bali, I went to Jakarta. But when I got here and we locked in, I was like, oh shit. Yeah.
Right.
And once I went back, I said, all right, I'm selling everything I got, because I wanted to get out of real estate because it peaked already. So I sold 40 properties down to my last 3, and now I'm just unloading. And already have my first spot here, which we'll get more into that. But I wanted to have a place like also in Africa. I want to do something in Bali. But now I'm in that phase where I'm thinking about, man, I might just want to only have a home in Thailand and travel everywhere else, and not have a home everywhere.
Right. So the whole thing is, are you looking to literally have no more homes back in the States? So you're going to get rid of your entire...
I'm not going to have any homes that I own by myself. I'm going to have syndication deals or partnerships where somebody else manage them and send me a check.
Right.
I don't want to be hearing from management companies, even though I have a team. I don't want my team to call me and tell me, we got a problem with this thing. No, those days are over.
Right.
Like, there's always an elevation. You start out as a worker, you start out becoming a partner, and you eventually become an owner. Like, you need to start taking your job, your position you have, and figure out, if they paying me $80,000, I'm obviously making them a couple of $100,000. How can I start taking these skills and talents to pay myself hundreds of thousands of dollars?
Facts.
But we don't do that. We get comfortable with the check, comfortable where we we at, and we're really uncomfortable. We're just comfortable being uncomfortable.
Just to kind of touch on that real quick, right? So you thought about living different parts in the world. So anywhere particularly that you looking to potentially like kind of like settle down?
Yeah, right now Thailand is definitely one. I wanted to do something in Africa because I'm going over there also. Like Bali, I love it there, and even parts of Jakarta. So I'm looking at those places. But for now, like my goal is to get out of the United States. You know, that direction where it's going is not for me.
Right. So if I could just kind of dive in little, you know, what's that driving factor for yourself to kind of like leaving the States of what we know, right? As what's the driving factor for you?
Realizing that I was suffering through Stockholm syndrome. You know what I mean? I was in love with my captors. I let the United States use their marketing on me to tell me there was no better place in the world for me to live. There's nothing like the United States.
Right.
Until I left that motherfucker, I realized they was lying to me. The driving factors also is because I don't want to keep working to give them money. I don't want to keep working harder and harder just to give them money. The ultimate goal is freedom, peace of mind. We tend to find those things in an item. You know, we might say, you know what, I'm buying me this car, and you got this car, you're happy, you like it. Then after a while, that wears off. Now you go buy something else, some jewelry. You like that, yeah, and then that wears off. You're trying to find that dopamine in a item, and really, freedom doesn't have a price tag to it. Peace of mind doesn't have a price tag to it. Peace of mind isn't a location, it's a destination. The location of where you're at now doesn't mean that's where you need to stay. The destination is where you want to end up. And that destination for me is peace, and I can't pay to get there.
Right.
You know, so I'm going through all my different locations until I find my destination, which is peace. That's what I'm going through.
Wow.
But I know my peace isn't where I'm currently located.
Wow. Those are some powerful words. So I'm just curious, obviously, right, I kind of connected you to kind of coming out here. So what you particularly so far enjoy about, you know, being out here in Thailand?
Man, besides the fact that there's no other way to code it. There's no like that I'm better than you thing. You know, you have communities of rich, wealthy people who will come here and build their own areas, but I don't want to be around them anyway.
Right.
But it's the comfort of coming here. The food quality is fucking insane. Peace of mind is insane. The opportunities are insane. So, like here, is not the opportunities where you could come here and create this big business and make millions of dollars. You could come here, open up you a nice shop, make you some money, do that. But the thing is, if you're making $1,000 at home or $3,000 a month back wherever you live, $1,000, and you don't have to go to work to make that.
Right.
If you make up your mind, not even to come here, to live abroad somewhere, that $1,000, like every $1,000 here is $30,000. You know what you can do? Like we all went out today to have dinner, 4 of us. We had like 9 or 10 different courses of meal, like no bullshit. 2 beautiful big fishes and dishes of different this and rice, that, and easy 10 different dishes. That meal back home in New York would have cost us $600.
Easily.
That bill was $47.
And now you see why I love this place so much. And that food that you have, that word, you know, organic, right? Like it's just real food. And that's the thing that blew my mind for being back, like in the States. You have to be checking labels to find out, and you don't even know which food is like organic. But you know here that it was grown here. The rice was made here. The fruits was grown here, you know. So so I want to touch on something, you know, that I'm sure people are going to really appreciate, man. And I commend you for this, for taking that big leap. What made you wanted to purchase a condo here?
Right.
Let's talk about the condo you just purchased.
Yeah, the things is numbers. You know what I mean? Like I will never do anything based on emotion. First time I came out, I looked at a lot of places that were beautiful. But I'm like, yo, don't come out here buying 3 or 4 places. Buy one and make sure everything goes well. And the one I wanted, one of the 2 that I narrowed down, incredible, great. But when I came to this place and I saw the amusement park right there, I seen all the families and the kids. I said, yo, It's a no-brainer. Mathematically, the numbers make sense. I'm going to keep this place renting. It's going to generate me cash flow. You know, the high season I can do, the low season I can do $1,500 to $1,000 for the month.
Easily.
High season I can do $1,000 a week. But my maintenance cover cost is $125 a month. So $1,000 a week, $4,000 a month, and my cost, all in water, utilities, is $125.
So if you would kind of go backwards and flip it, right? So what you think something like this that you just bought here and would cost like back in the States, what would you say?
If it was New York, in New York, easily this, 800,000, 800,000 in New York.
Crazy.
So that's like easy, you know, and the biggest thing that, you know, for me that I want to share and talk to my people about is you have to know when to make your move that you know you have to make a move. You know, we always say, I'm gonna, then the time go by, the years go by. You're letting somebody else dictate how you live, what's going on in your life. The hardest decisions I've ever made in my life were the ones that involved me hurting somebody temporarily, but setting them free for a long time so I can have happiness for the rest of my life. Like, if someone's happy watching you be miserable, then you're in the wrong situation.
Wow.
Like, the ultimate goal is to literally not have to work yourself to death. At what point do you say, if the only way I'm making money is by physical labor, what happens when I can no longer physically go get money? So the world is changing. Digital, crypto, all of that stuff. You need to learn all of that, how to get money in that space. Your job isn't safe. I don't care what job it is. It's not going to be here within the next 3 to 5 years. It's going to be gone. If you're paying rent, what about once you lose your job, you can't pay rent? Like, people ain't even thinking that far ahead. They're going, I'll figure it out.
That's a
The
fact.
government's figured it out. Your job's already figured out when they want you to go. The administration's already figured out what they're going to do. You're the only one who's walking around here going, I'm going to figure it the fuck out.
That part. So I want to touch on, you know, to kind of add to what we're, you know, talking about. So I know we were kind of having a conversation right when we were exploring the beach that you are looking to actually move here full time in a year.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I'll be here in a year. Like, there's no ifs and buts about it. Like I said, I'm getting rid of all of my personal real estate that I own, taking that money and just want to relax the rest of my time, still teach my community, go around still doing my speaking, but I don't need a lot of money to live comfortable. You know, when you have a number that you locked in on that you need to make to live comfortable, the majority of that money is going for you to be able to live where you're at. Okay. Like, really, be like, yo, if I could make $1 million a month, okay, cool. Now you look talking about your mortgage possibly for about $300,000-$400,000. You're talking about the car you're gonna get. But if you just know you living for you, like, I don't want a car. I don't want all the jewels, the mechanisms, and I've done that when I was younger. See, I realized happiness and peace isn't in the items that I own. It's in me.
It's in you. Powerful. So I want to touch on something really quick too, and then we're going to kind of wrap this up. So what you think is the biggest struggle is like kind of holding people that look like us back, taking that step a bit further? What you think is the
misinterpretation, you know, that we can't do it. Where we're at is the safest place to be, that if I go there, where's the community that looks like me? Where's the other Black people? And it's like, no, go visit, go check it out. If it works for you, yeah, then you start looking at, like I mentioned before, don't go to vacations on a vacation. Go to a vacation and say, could I live here? What does the schools look like if you have younger children? What does the supermarkets? What does the job market? What does hospitals look like? Like, you want to know all the things. If I was to live here, what is, you know, once you start looking at that and then go, okay, what would that cost me to do that? You're going to be like, really? Really? What? Okay, there's a reason why 2 million, about 1.5 million baby boomers, people who retire, leave the United States. They won't tell you that.
Right.
You know, but you look at the State Department's record online, you have 5 million people that live abroad. 5 million people send in absentee ballots.
Big facts. So would you recommend, from what you experienced coming out here in Thailand, for people to come over here from the States?
Yeah, I recommend them go to a lot of places. You definitely could come here, but I just need you to go. I just need you to go somewhere and go and see what it's like. You know, go see what it's like to be somewhere else, possibly live somewhere else. For me, I love it here, but I'm also going to look at other places. Like I love Bali, like I mentioned. So I'm going to Africa. I haven't been there yet, but I'm heading because I have people there and I want to check it out. But the thing is, I know where I'm at. I don't want to be. It's like a relationship. I don't know who I'm going to be with next, but I know I don't want to be with this person no more.
Big
That's all that
facts.
matters.
Yeah. So if you can kind of, wrap up like a tip, what tip and or advice you would give anyone for if they're just kind of stuck in a rat race and they want to figure out how they can kind of start to travel or maybe find other places potentially to live, what would you recommend them to?
What I recommend people to do is get a pen and a paper, not no tablet, not no type it in your phone, pen and a paper and write down on top, big letters, what does my next 5 years look like? Put that up. Don't try to fill it out that day. I just want you to put that up on your fridge, put it up on a board, keep walking by that. Then what I want you to write down after you looked at that for a couple of days and say, will my job be here? And everything's going to be related to 5 years. Will I still have a job in 5 years? Now you think about, will technology take over your job? If it does, what you going to do? Will I be able to afford my rent? You look at how often your rent's going up. In the next 5 years, will you be able to pay it? Will my children be able to afford school if you have kids? You start answering all those questions about the next 5 years, and if you don't have solid conclusions, you fucking up. You better get some answers. Because trust you me, it's gonna look a way different from now. What does the next 5 years of your life look like? You need to have that answer.
Powerful, powerful, man. And I know we were going to wrap this up, but I just had to get it out, before we go. So I know you're looking at potentially getting the next property. I mean, this property is fire, first of all. Right? You got the animals here, and why get a next property, my brother? Why are you looking to get
easy because one for me to live in, and also as an investment property when I'm not here. Because I'm still going to travel, still going to do what I want to do. But the thing is, if I see a market and a lane for me to be able to buy something and make more money, I'm going to take advantage of it. Will I buy? I may not. I may be happy with this because this is going to generate good income. Sure. But if there's an opportunity, I am going to buy. But my thing is, I'm not trying to be a real estate investor here. No. I may have one or two, chill, because the goal is to be peaceful. Not to have no tenants, not to have people bothering me, I'm comfortable. I'm not trying to do what I did in the States and have 40-some properties and a staff that has to manage them and all that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a headache. Yeah.
That's it, brother.
So first of all, I would like to, thank you for taking your time. First of all, coming out here, it's always good to see you, my brother. Thank you for taking the time to sit with me. And, your famous words, what you always tell people, my brother.
Always seek
knowledge.
Peace.